Have you ever spent $5 and thought, it's only $5? Maybe it was coffee, a snack, a delivery fee, or something you bought online? But what if the real danger isn't the $5 you spend, but the habit that $5 creates? Your brain doesn't see every small purchase as a serious financial decision. $5 today feels harmless, and $5 tomorrow feels harmless too. But when the same decision happens hundreds of times, the total can quietly become enormous. Imagine buying a $5 coffee every morning. That's $35 a week, around $150 a month, and roughly $1,125 a year. The strange part is that most people don't remember where those thousands of dollars went. That's because we judge purchases individually instead of looking at repeated behavior. A $500 purchase forces you to stop and think, while a $5 purchase barely gets your attention, and this psychological difference is exactly what makes small purchases so powerful. Your brain has a kind of small purchase loophole. When something costs $5, you rarely ask whether it will improve your financial future. You simply think, I can afford it. But being able to afford something doesn't automatically mean it's worth buying. Every dollar you spend today is a dollar that can't be used somewhere else. That could mean less money for your emergency fund, debt payments, investments, or future goals. This is called opportunity cost, and it's one of the most important ideas in personal finance. The cost of a purchase isn't only what you pay for it, but what that money could have become. And when you repeat that decision for years, the opportunity cost can become much larger. Now, imagine two people who each have an extra $5 every day. One spends it on small purchases, while the other consistently puts it toward investing or saving. After one day, the difference is almost invisible, but after years, the difference can become significant. The problem becomes even bigger when small purchases turn into habits. A coffee that was once an occasional treat can eventually become something you automatically buy every morning. At that point, you're no longer making a decision. You're following a routine. This happens with subscriptions, food delivery, shopping, ride-sharing, entertainment, and countless other expenses. The danger isn't necessarily that these things are bad. The danger is that your brain can stop noticing them. And once your spending becomes automatic, your lifestyle can quietly become more expensive. You don't suddenly decide to increase your expenses by thousands of dollars. Instead, you make dozens of tiny decisions until the higher spending becomes your new normal. This is called lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, your income increases, and suddenly you start spending a little more on everything. The problem is that your income can rise without your wealth rising with it. Maybe you order more food, upgrade your phone, add subscriptions, or take more expensive trips. None of those decisions looks financially dangerous by itself, but together, they can absorb the extra money you thought would finally help you get ahead. There's another psychological effect making this worse. When your lifestyle improves, your brain quickly becomes accustomed to it. What once felt luxurious eventually feels completely normal. This is known as hedonic adaptation. The first expensive coffee might feel special, but after buying it every morning, it simply becomes part of your routine. The same thing can happen with cars, restaurants, vacations, technology, and almost anything else you spend money on. That's why earning more money doesn't automatically make you wealthy. If every increase in income creates an increase in spending, you can earn more without actually getting ahead. You can make more, spend more, and still feel just as financially stressed. The solution isn't to stop spending money completely. Money is supposed to be used for things that improve your life. The goal is to make sure your spending reflects your priorities instead of your impulses. Try tracking your small purchases for just 7 days. Write down every coffee, snack, subscription, delivery fee, and random purchase under $20. Then ask yourself, would I make this purchase again if I had to decide right now? Some purchases will still be worth it. If that coffee genuinely makes your morning better, keep buying it. The goal isn't to eliminate enjoyment, it's to eliminate spending you barely even notice. Another useful question is, what job could this money do instead? That $5 could become part of an emergency fund, a debt payment, an investment, or a future goal. Now you're not simply deciding whether to spend money, you're deciding which future you want to fund. So the next time you think, it's only $5, pause for a moment. Ask yourself whether you value what the $5 gives you today more than what that money could become tomorrow. That one question can completely change the way you think about small purchases. Because the $5 itself isn't the enemy. The real danger is repeating a financial decision so often that you stop realizing you're making it, and wealth is often shaped by exactly those tiny decisions. You don't need to become perfect with money. You simply need to become more conscious of your patterns. Because thousands of small decisions can eventually create a very large financial result. Money has rules most people never learn. We uncover them here. Subscribe to RahatInvests. So remember this. Wealth isn't usually destroyed by one small purchase, it is shaped by repeated ones. The hidden cost isn't always the money you spend today, sometimes it's the future you're quietly choosing not to fund.